Jason, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. How are you?
I'm incredible. I've been looking forward to getting back since the moment I first left.
Before we really get into this interview, let's just catch up, see how things are, what you've been up to. Yeah, what have you been doing?
You know, what's beautiful is ever since being in Ipswich last July, I feel like it really was a springboard. I found myself so inspired and motivated. I've created several more workshops versus just, I had one speech before. Now I have 4 workshops. I've begun teaching public speaking. I have workshops on grit and resilience, and my career is really expanding. Things are going wonderful with my family. My health has greatly improved because I'm taking better care of myself. So just nothing but positives.
That's fantastic to hear. A bit of golf as well. Spot
Of
your
course,
cap over there.
I definitely play golf as often as I can. I live right next to my favorite golf course in Phoenix, and right now, you know, my kids are grown and gone and doing their thing, so I have time. I usually play twice a week.
And how about your trip here? What's the itinerary?
It's a busy, exciting week. I mean, I have, of course, going to the game, going to the players' dinner, spending some time at the training grounds. I'm super excited to watch training. I've never been up close and personal in this setting to watch the lads train for the upcoming game, and I can't wait to hear how the coaches talk in those private moments. And I'm doing quite a few talks. I'm doing my keynote speech that everybody knows as Burning Shield that I did last July. I'm doing that a couple times to the new players, and then the younger players with their families are invited, their parents. And then I'm going to do the new workshops I created for the first team and some of the academy players.
Now, I know how excited you are about Saturday. You loved Portman Road when you came before. You've said that you've had messages from supporters. You love going there. But I know you're excited, but before we look at that, for those that might not know your story, what is it?
So how I came to be here in Ipswich is I was a Phoenix police officer, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. And March 26th of 2001, so almost 22 years ago, I was at work when I was involved in a line of duty accident injury. Somebody hit me doing over 100 miles per hour, the English version, which is incredibly fast, caused my car to burst into flames. I was trapped inside, had a lot of miracles, a lot of incredible twists of fate that went into having people there immediately get me out of the car. Suffered some severe injuries, as you can still see after all these years, but this doesn't really tell the true tale of how bad the injuries were. I spent 2.5 months in a coma, 5 months in a hospital, years of therapy and surgery. But I was able to return to work. I was able to find my acceptance, my self-accountability, my self-awareness, and went back to being a husband, a father, a police officer. And then as time went on and I ended up retiring, I found my new love, which is public speaking. And I started that in 2010, and I was horrible at it. I didn't know how to tell my story. I didn't know how to speak in front of crowds, and now I love it. And I'm a beneficiary, a member of PSPRS, which is the pension fund that owns Ipswich Town Football Club. And that's how we came to know each other.
Part of that public speaking, you came and spoke to all staff at the football club, the first team players, academy, coaching staff, office staff. But how would you outline your relationship with the club overall?
it's the most unique relationship I have, because what I experienced at Portman Road myself, just spiritually, emotionally, being there was something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't prepared for. I'm not sure I can explain why, and I don't really want to. It was just a magical place. And then the reception that I got from the players, speaking to professional athletes, a professional organization is something I take very serious. And I've done it a few times in the United States, a few professional baseball teams, but there's just something different about Ipswich Town and Portman Road for me. And we've developed an incredible relationship. Mark Ashton, just a wonderful, wonderful man. Kevin Mincher, who's doing such a wonderful job with his role with the players. A lot of the fans, and I keep in touch with a lot of the players on social media. I watch the games. I've watched, I do travel a lot, and I am busy. Our time difference from Arizona to Ipswich, it can be 7 or 8 hours. But I have watched almost every game this year, and to see the progression, to see what is happening, and especially be back this week. The first game I saw was Bolton, and now fresh out the win, a dominating win last Saturday against Bolton, and to see what I see with my eye, what I know is taking place with these players, it makes it even more special, because that was the goal when I was here, when I was speaking to them. It was about overcoming the adversity and the dream that they have, what they have been working so hard for, that the fans don't see. The fan sees the product on the field on Saturday, but what goes on Monday through Friday, and that's what we talked a lot about. And now, here we are, so close, and to watch this unfold, and I can't wait to watch them get promoted.
Just jumping back to that first visit, I can honestly say that being part of that talk was a privilege, the one to the office staff, but I spoke to players as well. They said it had a profound impact on them. Is that something that you really felt that day?
It is something I felt. I think that's part of what was so moving to me in so many ways. But I am so blessed with my career and my story and the way that I've developed. Just, you heard it. You know how I tell it. It's very conversational. I'm very real.
Yeah.
I try to be raw and vulnerable, and I'm going to share my story with you and hope that it impacts your life in some way for what you're going through. But to have so many of these players and the staff, all of you have such a committed job to do, that your mind is there all the time. That's what you're focused on.
Yeah.
And for you to be that moved, for your staff, for your players, for this community to be moved by, I'm just Jason from Arizona, and I was kind of taken aback. I wasn't expecting it to be that strong, and I'm grateful for that.
Since then, you've strengthened those relationships. One of those people that you've already mentioned, Mark Ashton, I know that you're regularly in contact with him. What do those talks involve, or perhaps just WhatsApp messages here and there?
I have great admiration for Mark Ashton. I've had a lot of conversations with Mark Steed, with PRS, and how it came to be that why would this pension fund that helps take care of retired first responders, how did you end up owning a football club in Ipswich, England? So that's the trained investigator part of me. Like, I have questions, I need answers. So I talked to Mark Steed more in depth, and he explained it to me, and he just loves Mark Ashton and respects him so much, and that obviously the fact that they're in business together. When Mark Ashton and I talk, it's more just, how are you? How's the family? I have great reverence for him. He's a high-level businessman. He's incredibly intellectual. He's funny. He's serious. I look up to him. So I would like to say we're friends, but I have such respect for him that I think I stay still maybe arm's length away when I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
I just congratulate him. But one thing I love about Mark, and he doesn't even realize what this means to me. Every Saturday morning, I wake up to a picture from Mark, without fail, every game. And do you remember the coins that we gave? Mm-hmm. Mark, every week he takes a picture of just his hand holding the coin and the lineup card for the day. Mm. And he does it every Saturday. I know that's what I'll wake up to, because I wake up early so that I can log on and watch the games. Mm. But of course it's 3:00 here, and the game's getting underway. And that means so much to me that he carries that coin. He knows what it symbolizes, but then he takes the time to say, he doesn't even write anything. He just sends me a picture.
Just one picture.
He doesn't say good morning. He doesn't say, let's get a win today. Nothing. He just sends me this picture, and it speaks volume. He doesn't have to say a word, and I hope it continues, because I look forward to those. It makes my entire day. And then for me, I'm just like, let me get my cup of coffee, sit down at my computer, and let me cheer on I call them my boys. Yeah. And which is, as I say it, it sounds ridiculous. I mean, I'm a huge sports fan, and I'm still a little kid in a lot of ways, even though I'm 50 years old. But whenever I talk, people ask me about this hat that I wear. I wear this hat every day, every trip I go on, every time I play golf. It's the only hat that I wear. And people ask me, what is that? And, I'll say a few things, but I'm always talking very affectionate and referring to them as mine. Like, this is my team. That's just the emotional connection I have.
Well, on that emotional connection, in the last question I used the word relationships, but would you actually say this connection has seen you form friendships?
I would. There's a few players that I keep in touch with more than others. There's a few that I pay attention to, maybe what they're doing off the pitch with their families. Maybe reach out to say hello, or when I find out it's one of their birthdays, maybe a private message. But I think of them all the time. I love watching. I think that's why the games mean more to me.
Yeah.
As with all the fans, because you feel like the person running on the field. And when they score a goal, you feel a deeper sense of pride versus just, let's clap and yell and cheer. So the relationship part of it is what makes it so special, because it wasn't just a group of people I talked to and then I left.
Yeah.
This has been going on now, and I hope it never ends. That's something I don't even want to think about. I just always want to be a part of Ipswich Town Football Club. We
have briefly spoken about the pension fund, but it is absolutely so important that it continues to be recognised, isn't it? Why is it so important that is always remembered by everyone associated with the football club?
Well, first, I hope everybody saw this story, or Mark Ashton passed it along, but it was recognized just a couple of weeks ago as the largest, fastest growing pension fund in the United States.
Yeah.
Mark Steed and his group has done an incredible job. I think Ipswich Town has a big role in that success. But PSPRS, for us, when I retired, I have friends right now who have had longer careers than me, weren't injured in the line of duty or things like that, but they're coming to the end of their career at their age. And as soon as you retire, immediately you go into the pension system. And that for the rest of your life, you're getting a paycheck. You're getting your medical benefits, and they take care of us, and we don't have to worry about anything. So there's a great peace of mind with that. It's a team in itself, and I just love that they've made this connection. 5,000 miles away. I don't even know.
And how is that being reinforced in the group and also instilled? Because you've mentioned there you're going to speak to the new players, those that joined in January, but also so important to recognise that this isn't just the first team players, it's about everyone connected with the football club. Everyone has a part to play and everyone represents PSPRS.
Yes, I think that was what was so important about bringing me over here the first time. And Mark Ashton really made it clear to these players. I mean, his introduction of me was the longest one I've ever had. He probably spoke for 15 minutes trying to explain to these players and the staff what you do every day. Because like we all have roles and jobs and things going on in our lives, and sometimes we're going to lose sight of maybe what's outside of our little office or cubicle, or the players obviously they have a lot of weight on their shoulders on the pitch. They're carrying the fans and all of the behind the scenes staff that works so hard. But everybody is a part of the success. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that go into each and every goal, each and every win. It's not just because of one kick at one time. And I think Mark has done a really good job of creating such a chemistry and a passion that everybody at Ipswich Town Football Club realizes that there's something so much bigger than them that they are working and playing for.
And something else that Mark and so many people at the club are so passionate about is the community. Why do you think it's so important that these values and the way we carry ourselves, why is it so important, not just on the pitch as Ipswich Town, but in the wider community?
Well, I think it's important. I wish all sports teams at this level, professional levels, would model themselves after Ipswich. I think it's amazing. Portman Road doesn't get filled up just because of 3 hours every other Saturday.
Yeah.
It gets filled up because these people that buy the tickets, that buy the drinks, that take time out of their day, that get on train rides and take long car rides to away games, it's because it's so meaningful to their lives. That's something I tried to really impress upon the players. Imagine being out on the pitch and nobody's cheering you on. Would you want to do this? Probably not. You want to be out there and you want to feel that noise and that love, and you give it back for those 3 hours of that game, but then the rest of the week it's still your community. And this is Ipswich Town, Portman Road. This whole community is one heartbeat.
I remember you speaking about challenges that everyone faces in life when you came and spoke in July. How have you transferred that to a sporting context?
I think, obviously, speaking to law enforcement officers, other first responders who can easily relate to me, that's one thing. Professional athletes, I think it takes a special... A lot of people have talent. A lot of people don't have the growth mindset to cultivate that talent, to chase their dreams. Dreams aren't going to chase you. If you have a dream, you have to chase it. That's what I want to talk this week when I talk to the under-18s, the under-21s. You can't give up. And you see in these first team players that they they haven't given up. You see in Kieran McKenna, he hasn't ever given up, even though his path changed, and he went through a lot of adversity. He had injuries. He didn't have, like, I think we can relate. I didn't have a career as long as I planned, the way I planned. Maybe somebody like Kieran at his level, I can't relate to him because I have never done what he does. Not on the pitch, not as a coach. But there's a camaraderie there. There's a brotherhood. There's an understanding. You know, we don't have to feel the exact same things. We don't have to do the exact same things. But our hearts and our human spirit and our character and our work ethic, those are going to be very equal. So I feel such a connection speaking to athletes like this. And I'm glad that comes natural for me because I do hold them in such high regard.
And that is in a sporting context. That's what we're working in, isn't it? A sporting environment. But these values are to be represented no matter what is going on. Whether it's on the pitch, whether you're out in the town, whether you're doing a player visit, whether it's in the community, this is about holding yourself, representing yourself as best as you possibly can.
Yes.
And those are the values that align with PSPRS.
They're exactly the values that align, and the speech I did when I was here, which is my story, I call it Burning Shield, but it doesn't focus on just one aspect of your life. We all are somebody, to ourselves, to other people. We all have different roles, but the one thing, we're all living life. We're all having a human experience. So we're going to have adversity. We're going to have setbacks. We're going to have tragedies. We're going to have highs and lows. And to be able to talk about the 360 version of that, the entire being of life. And life right now probably won't look anything like this in 10 years. And it's because you're going to go through a lot of adversity. So when you try to lead the day better than you found it, leave somebody else better than you found them each and every day, you just keep building strength for not only yourself, but what you pay forward. I really believe what you put out there in a positive way will come back to you tenfold.
And that's not something it's not just a tip of the cap, is it? This is the Burning Shield logo in the dressing room, running towards adversity, the last thing the players see before they leave the tunnel at Portman Road. You know, this is being ingrained in every possible way because it's so important.
It is so important, and again, so much gratitude and respect for Mark Ashton for his running toward adversity. I've been talking about adversity for 20 years, and I've had many words for it, many different contexts, but he summed it up perfectly. You know, it's coming. Run towards it. And you can see the success that the boys are having this year. The whole football club, the community. It's just been incredible. And I believe it's because they are doing exactly that. And of course, selfishly, I want to believe that my speech last July had a little something to do with it, like Mark always carrying that coin. He has not let it go because he knows what it symbolizes. Not just a little round piece of metal. This coin, it means so much more, and he carries it with him all the time, as I'd be willing to bet a lot of the other players do.
Yeah.
So running toward adversity has been a mantra now that I just speak about a lot. I have more stories about it and why you want to run towards it, not away from it or try to hide from it. It's coming. So square your shoulders and go.
We know what the goal is this season. There is one common goal that everyone's working towards. This may be an impossible question to answer, but how does everyone run towards adversity for the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, the final stretch, you're so close. I think so much closer than maybe a few people believed last July, but it's hard to see that far in the future. And I remember talking to Mark Ashton and some of the other people in the office about, wow, that's a long season. I didn't realize football lasted all these months.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. But now that you're so close, the adversity is going to get stronger. It's not going to get easier. Everything that you've accomplished to get here is great, but now it's in the past. And you put yourself in a position to achieve the original goal that you set out to achieve. And I think there are some real positive signs that I was here for that first game against Bolton.
Yeah.
And I remember, this is something I want to share with the guys this week. What I saw that day versus the game that they played last week against Bolton was remarkably different in every aspect. There's just a certain confidence, an achieved skill set. So it's right there for the taking, but it's a strong set of adverse circumstances to know that you are in control of your own destiny. And how are you going to deal with that? Well, you're going to deal with that by running towards it, because you're still not at the finish line yet. You still have to get there. And so you have to run towards it and you've built up so much momentum. Keep going as hard and fast as you can.
No matter what way this plays out, this is about so much more than that, isn't it? This is about the football club carries on, no matter what happens. Why is it so important that whatever way this goes, people continue to take pride in representing Ipswich Town, whatever form it's in, staff, player, fan? They maintain integrity, they always show the best version of themselves, and they continue to run towards adversity.
Yeah, that's such a delicate line to walk when we talk about this goal that you have to achieve promotion. And we want to stay focused on that, and positive in our beliefs. But you're right, when it's over, when the stadium clears out, when the pitch is cleared, when the noise settles down, everybody goes back home to their families, whatever adversity they're facing at home. I'm sure loved ones with their health. The fans go back to work for the rest of the week. The players go back to practicing and sweating and bleeding and being in pain. The staff goes back into the office and tries to figure out, how do we get better than last week? And so, I've never enjoyed when people talk about, well, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Of course it does. Winning matters because that's how you achieve promotion. Plus, winning matters because that's what you work so hard for. So you don't want to lose. I don't like talking about, well, there's still next year or the year after that. At some point you'll get promoted. Don't worry about it. That's the delicate line. But you're right in your question. No matter what happens, the football club will carry on.
Yeah.
Whether you're in League One, whether you're in the Champions League, next year, 5 years from now, it's still going to be Ipswich Town Football Club. These fans are still going to fill Portman Road. The staff is still going to come to work every day. So you have to have that indomitable spirit. Nothing can break you. The successes and the failures, the successes are going to be sweeter because you do it together, and the failures are going to be easier to handle because you do it together. But to maintain that integrity and character is an absolute must, because that's your shield. That's your coat of armor that you fight with, that allows you to run toward adversity. And you got to be real careful not to let any of those fall off.
You've spoken so passionately about the football club, your relationship, in this whole interview. But in one question, what does Ipswich Town and being part of the Ipswich Town family mean to you?
It is pure love. I just can't tell you of everything in my life outside of my personal family. Obviously, I've been married to my wife Susie for a very long time. I have 3 incredible kids. I've never experienced the emotions that I did when I was first here, since I've gotten to know them, and now to be back. I've been counting the days. When do I get to come back? And I'm finally here. And when I get to see the players tomorrow and see their reactions, when I get to talk to them again about different things this time. Now we're going to talk about resilience and grit, and we're going to go a little deeper into the meaning of how I've gotten through the last 20 years, why I am who I am now, how I built myself back up to being healthy and happy and successful. I can't wait to share with them, but the short answer is just pure love. I think about it every day. Again, it's on my head every day. There are pictures in my office. There are 2 jerseys, one of them signed, hanging in my closet. And so I look at things every day. I'm always thinking about Ipswich Town. I can't wait till the game Saturday. I can't wait to watch it. And then when they win, it's that feeling doesn't go away. For 72 or more hours, I'm just in the clouds. And sometimes I will think, why are you so into this, excited? And sometimes when things are so good, they can't be explained. And I like that. I don't know, but it's just sincerely a pure love and joy that I have to be a part of this community.
Let's finish with some real excitement. Talk about you coming to Portman Road on Saturday. What are you looking forward to? And a half-time interview as well.
Yeah, that was, well, I'll get to that in a second. So I didn't know last time. I knew I was coming to the game, but I thought I was going to get, my friend Shane was here with me at the time, and I thought we were going to get a couple tickets. Well, we got to experience it with the staff, and to sit with Mark Ashton and to sit right above, looking down on the pitch and the players right there, and to see them touch their hearts when they looked up. So I just fell in love, and I got a new understanding of football, which was great because we don't have this level of football where I live. And to watch these players, on TV it zooms in on one player or maybe one from each team and the ball.
Yeah.
You don't see the whole pitch. You don't see where all the players are moving around and why they're doing it. So I really look forward to seeing that again. I look forward to seeing the momentum that they have built up over these last 5 or 6 weeks. Finding out about the interview at halftime, I can't tell you. I'm so excited to do something. A live interview at Portman Road is going to be the absolute best feeling ever. I've never done anything like it, and I wouldn't want to anywhere else but here. So that was a shock to me when I found out we were doing that, and I look forward to doing it with you. We're going to have a lot of fun. What
does that mean to you, that not only will fans be so excited, so interested to hear your thoughts at halftime, but clearly it's a brilliant occasion for you as well on a personal note?
It is a brilliant occasion for me on a personal note, and I will definitely relive that moment for the rest of my life. I can assure you. There's nothing wrong with selfishly loving some achievements or certain times you get asked to do things. But it's also going to be very important to know who I'm representing. I get to be the one person to speak to all these fans, the staff, and then to do it during a game and have that connection. Again, I'm just Jason from Arizona. I know I look a little different, but these fans, they genuinely care. They're genuinely glad that I'm a part of this, and I'm already excited thinking, because they don't know. I'm guessing.
No, not yet.
No, nobody knows. So to feel that energy from the first half of the game, first of all, you know how that's going to go, and then at halftime to come down on the pitch with you, and to answer some questions, and to hear my own voice echo throughout that stadium. I'll have to be careful not to look at the big screen, because I think that'll probably catch me off guard. Like, wow, I'm up on the big screen. But I love being a kid at heart. I love being such a fan. I love how much I love this team, and it's gonna be like waking up on Christmas morning. That's exactly what it's gonna feel like. I already know, and I can't stop smiling just thinking about it. I'm not nervous. I'm just excited for it to come, but I don't want it to come too fast, because then it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want it to. I'm like, that was like a 3-minute interview, and I don't want to lose that feeling. So I got to soak it up as much as I can on the run up to it.
We're all looking forward to it. Jason, this has been an absolute privilege.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Portman Road Saturday, and thank you.
Yes, sir. Go Blues.